Before you can truly choose the right man, you have to first choose yourself. That means understanding your worth, recognizing your value, and refusing to settle for anything less than the love and respect you deserve. Too many times we find ourselves chasing after people who barely acknowledge us, giving our energy to relationships where we are the only ones truly showing up. But let me tell you something. When you know who you are, you don't have to beg anyone to see your worth. The right man will see it, honor it, and cherish it without hesitation. Some of us have spent too much time trying to convince a man to love us, to choose us, to treat us right. We bend over backward, making excuses for their absence, justifying their inconsistency, and lowering our standards just to keep them around. And why? Because deep down we believe that if we just love them enough, they'll finally see us the way we want to be seen. But let me remind you of this. Love is not about convincing someone to stay. Love is about choosing and being chosen in return. A man who truly sees your worth will not make you feel like you are an option. He will not keep you waiting, wondering, or questioning where you stand in his life. He will not give you half efforts while expecting full commitment from you. No, a real man, one who values you, will step up, pursue you with intention, and make it clear that he chooses you every single day. But here's the truth. You set the standard for how others treat you. If you do not value yourself, you will attract people who do not value you either. If you do not require respect, you will find yourself in situations where you are disrespected. And if you keep lowering your standards for a man who refuses to rise to the occasion, you will keep finding yourself in relationships where you feel unappreciated and unseen. You were never created to chase after love. You were never meant to beg for time, attention, or commitment. You are a woman of purpose, of power, of divine worth. And when you truly understand that, you will stop settling for relationships that drain you instead of pour into you. You will stop waiting for a man to validate your existence because you already know who you are with or without him. The love you desire is not found in someone who only shows up when it's convenient for them. It's not in someone who plays games with your heart, who gives you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to give you security. That is not love. That is manipulation. And if you continue to entertain it, you will keep finding yourself in the same cycle of disappointment. Let me ask you this. Why are you fighting for someone who is not fighting for you? Why are you chasing a man who is not chasing you? Why are you giving the best parts of yourself to someone who doesn't even recognize the blessing that you are? The right man, listen to me, the right man will not have you questioning your place in his life. He will not make you feel like you have to compete for his attention. He will not treat you like you are disposable, replaceable, or just another option. When a man truly chooses you, he will protect your heart, he will honor your presence, and he will love you with the kind of consistency that leaves no room for doubt. But before that man comes, you have to choose yourself first. You have to decide that you are worthy of love. Not just any love, but the right love. You have to be willing to walk away from anything that does not align with the value you know you hold. Because when you finally choose yourself, you won't have to wonder whether a man is choosing you, because the only kind of love you will accept is the kind that does. And that, my friends, is how you stop settling and start receiving the love you truly deserve. Love is not meant to be one-sided. It is not meant to be something you pour into without receiving anything in return. It is not a fight where one person is always struggling to hold on while the other barely tries. Love, in its purest form, is about reciprocity, about two people choosing each other, respecting each other, and giving to each other in equal measure. And if that balance is missing, then what you have is not love, it's an emotional transaction where only one person is making the investment. Some of you have been giving too much for too little. You've been the one who always calls, always checks in, always makes the plans. You've been the one who compromises, who sacrifices, who bends over backward just to make things work, while the other person does the bare minimum to keep you around. And you tell yourself, maybe if I just give a little more, they'll finally show up the way I need them to. But let me tell you something, love doesn't work like that. Love is not about convincing someone to see your worth. If a man wants you, he will show you with his actions. There is nothing wrong with loving deeply, but there is something wrong with loving to the point of depletion. A relationship should not leave you feeling empty. It should not feel like you are constantly pouring from a cup that never gets refilled. If a man truly wants to be with you, he will match your energy, your effort, and your commitment. He will not leave you guessing. He will not leave you feeling like you are the only one trying. Because when a man truly values you, he will meet you where you are, not just when it's convenient for him. Some of you are in situations where you feel like you are always the one proving yourself. You are always trying to earn a place in someone's life, as if love is something that needs to be begged for. But let me remind you, when love is real, it is given freely. It is not something you have to chase after. It is not something you have to fight for alone. If you are the only one doing the work, then what you have is not a partnership, it's an emotional burden disguised as love. Stop accepting crumbs when you deserve the whole meal. Stop settling for half efforts when you have been giving your all. Stop making excuses for someone who refuses to show up fully. The right man will not leave you feeling like you have to prove your worth. He will already know it. And because he knows it, he will do what is necessary to keep you, to reassure you, to love you in a way that makes you feel secure. Some of you have been waiting for a man to change. You've been holding on to potential, believing that one day he will wake up and finally give you the love you've been pouring into him. But let me ask you this. How long have you been waiting? How long have you been hoping for someone to become the man you need them to be? How many times have you made excuses for why they aren't showing up the way they should? You don't have to wait for a man to choose you. When the right one comes along, he will choose you without hesitation. He will not make you feel like an afterthought. He will not make you feel like you are constantly reaching for something that is just out of grasp. Because real love, healthy love, is mutual. It is given freely. It is expressed through effort, not just words. Some of you have been mistaking interest for investment. Just because a man is interested in you does not mean he is willing to invest in you. Interest is easy. Anyone can be interested. But investment requires action, commitment, and sacrifice. Investment means prioritizing you, considering your feelings, showing up consistently, and proving through actions, not just words, that he wants to build something real with you. If a man wants to be with you, you will not have to question it. His actions will make it clear. His consistency will leave no doubt. His love will not feel like a guessing game. Because when someone truly values you, they will not risk losing you. So stop chasing after people who refuse to match your effort. Stop holding on to relationships where you are the only one trying. Stop settling for anything less than what you deserve. The right love will never have you questioning whether or not you are truly wanted. It will be clear, it will be consistent, and most importantly, it will be reciprocated. Love is not supposed to leave you confused. It is not meant to be something that has you questioning your worth, your place, or your importance in someone's life. When a man truly wants you, you won't have to decode his behavior or analyze his every move just to figure out how he feels about you. You won't have to sit by the phone wondering if he's going to call, or spend your nights overthinking why he acts one way today and another way tomorrow. Love, real love, is consistent. It is steady. It does not create anxiety. It brings peace. And when a man chooses you, his actions will align with his words every single time. Some of you are caught in a cycle of inconsistency. One day he's all in and the next he's distant. One moment he's making you feel special and the next you're questioning if he even cares. One week he's promising you the world and the next he's nowhere to be found. And instead of walking away, you stay. You keep trying to hold on to the good moments, convincing yourself that they outweigh the bad. But let me tell you something. If a man truly values you, you will not have to wonder where you stand with him. A man who chooses you will make his intentions clear. He will not send mixed signals. He will not play with your emotions, giving you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to make you feel secure. When a man is serious about you, he will show up in ways that leave no doubt. His actions will be consistent. His words will be backed by effort. And his love will not feel like a game you have to play just to keep him interested. Some of you are mistaking inconsistency for excitement. You think that the uncertainty, the emotional highs and lows, the constant push and pull mean that the relationship is passionate. But what it really means is that you're on an emotional roller coaster, holding on to a man who doesn't know what he wants or isn't willing to give you what you deserve. Real love is not a guessing game. It does not require you to prove your worth over and over again just to be acknowledged. If a man truly chooses you, he will choose you every day, not just when it's convenient for him. He will not disappear for days and then come back with sweet words expecting you to just accept it. He will not make you feel like you have to fight for his time or attention. He will be there consistently because he wants to be, not because you had to beg, plead, or prove yourself worthy of it. Some of you are holding on to a man's potential rather than his reality. You see glimpses of what he could be, moments of what the relationship could look like if only he would just get it together. But love is not about waiting for someone to become the person you need them to be. It's about being with someone who already chooses to be that person for you. A man who truly wants you will not keep you in a place of uncertainty. He will not make you feel like you are constantly waiting for him to be ready. When a man chooses you, he will make sure you know it, because he won't want to risk losing you. Love should bring clarity, not confusion. A man who values you will communicate with you, not leave you wondering. He will prioritize you, not treat you as an afterthought. He will show up consistently, not just when he feels like it. And if you find yourself constantly questioning where you stand with a man, that is your answer. A man who truly wants to be with you will not let you question his presence in your life. Some of you need to stop making excuses for inconsistency. You need to stop justifying the back and forth, the hot and cold behavior, the emotional unavailability. If a man can go days without speaking to you, he is showing you exactly where you rank in his priorities. If he only reaches out when he needs something or when he feels like it, he is showing you that he is not fully invested. If he constantly makes promises that he never follows through on, he is showing you that his words mean nothing. Believe what a man shows you, not just what he says. You deserve more than inconsistency. You deserve more than half-hearted effort. You deserve more than being an option in someone's life. The right man will not have you questioning where you stand. He will make sure you know through his actions, through his consistency, through the way he shows up for you every single day. And until you find that kind of love, don't settle for anything less. A man's words mean nothing if his actions don't match. Promises, sweet talk, and good intentions sound nice, but they are empty without the effort to back them up. You don't need a man who just says he loves you. You need a man who shows it in the way he treats you, the way he prioritizes you, the way he respects you when no one is watching. Because at the end of the day, love is not just about what is spoken, it is about what is done. Some of you have spent too much time holding on to words that never became reality. He said he was going to change, but he didn't. He said he was going to do better, but he didn't. He said he wanted to be with you, but his actions showed otherwise. And every time you believe that maybe this time would be different. But let me tell you something. Words don't require sacrifice. Words don't require commitment. Words don't require real effort. And if a man can say all the right things but never actually follow through, then what he's really telling you is that he is not serious about you. Love requires action. A man who truly loves you will show you through consistency, not just convenience. He will show you by how he treats you, not just when things are good, but when times get tough. He will show you by how he includes you in his life, how he respects your time, how he honors your presence. Because love is not just about how someone feels about you. It is about how they treat you because of how they feel. Some of you have been caught up in potential instead of reality. You hear his words and you want to believe them. You hold on to what he could be rather than what he actually is. But love is not built on potential. It is built on action. If a man truly wants to be with you, he will make that known through his effort. He will not make you guess. He will not leave you feeling unsure. He will make it clear that he chooses you. Not just with words, but with actions that prove it. Some of you have mistaken temporary effort for real commitment. He came back after weeks of silence and suddenly started acting right for a moment. He apologized and said all the things you wanted to hear, but then went right back to doing what he always does. That is not love. That is not change. That is just enough effort to keep you holding on. A man who truly wants you will not only put in effort to get you, he will put in effort to keep you. He will not just show up when he feels like it, he will show up always because he knows your worth. Let me ask you something. How much longer are you going to let words keep you in a place where actions do not support them? How many more times will you accept apologies without changed behavior? How many more times will you convince yourself that his potential is worth more than his reality? Because a man's love is not in what he says, it is in what he does. A man who truly loves you will not have you begging for basic respect. He will not have you constantly questioning his intentions. He will not leave you feeling neglected, unseen, or unheard. He will make you feel valued, protected, and secure. Because love is about making sure the person you care for knows they are cherished. Some of you are waiting for a man to become the person you need him to be, but the truth is the right man will already be that person when he finds you. You will not have to force him to act right. You will not have to keep reminding him how to love you. Because when a man truly values you, he will not put himself in a position to lose you. Love should not be a battle for proof. You should not have to prove that you are worthy of commitment, of respect, of effort. If a man is not showing you that he values you, then he doesn't. It is really that simple. And when you finally understand that, you will stop accepting excuses, empty promises, and inconsistent effort. You will stop settling for words without action. And you will only give your heart to a man who shows you every single day that he chooses you. There is a difference between a man who is interested in you and a man who is invested in you. Interest is easy. Interest is surface level. Anybody can be interested. A man can be interested in you today and uninterested tomorrow. A man can be interested in you when it's convenient, when he's lonely, when he wants something from you. But investment requires something deeper. It requires effort. It requires consistency. It requires sacrifice. And if a man is not willing to invest in you, then all the interest in the world means nothing. Some of you are confusing attention with intention. Just because a man calls, texts, or shows up once in a while does not mean he is serious about you. Just because he gives you compliments, tells you he misses you, or makes you feel special in the moment does not mean he is building something real with you. Real investment is not about words, it's about action. It's about showing up, putting in effort, proving that he values you by the way he treats you every single day. Some of you have been stuck in relationships where the man is present but not committed. He's there, but he's not really building anything with you. He enjoys your company, but he's not making plans for the future. He tells you he cares, but his actions never align with those words. And because you want him to be the right one, you hold on. You keep hoping that one day he will wake up and suddenly become the man you need him to be. But let me tell you something. A man who is truly invested in you will not have you waiting for the love you deserve. He will not keep you in a place of uncertainty. He will not treat you like an option while you are giving him the love of a lifetime. Some of you are in relationships where you are pouring into a man who is not pouring into you. You are giving your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, and in return you are receiving inconsistency, broken promises, and half-hearted effort. You are holding on to something that is draining you instead of fulfilling you. And the truth is, if a man is not willing to invest in you, he does not deserve access to you. A man who is invested in you will make it clear. You will not have to beg for his attention. You will not have to remind him how to love you. You will not have to chase after him, hoping he finally decides to treat you right. When a man values something, he takes care of it. When a man truly wants something, he protects it, nurtures it, and does whatever it takes to keep it. If he is not doing that for you, then he is not invested in you. He is only interested in what you can offer him. Some of you need to stop making excuses for why a man is not stepping up. You tell yourself, he's just not ready. He's been hurt before. He's trying to figure things out. But the truth is, when a man truly values you, he will not put himself in a position to lose you. He will not treat you like a backup plan. He will not keep you waiting while he figures things out. A man who is serious about you will not risk another man stepping in and doing what he refuses to do. There is a difference between a man who likes you and a man who is willing to build with you. A man who likes you will enjoy your presence, but a man who is invested in you will make you a priority. A man who likes you will spend time with you when it's convenient, but a man who is invested in you will make time no matter what. A man who likes you will entertain you, but a man who is invested in you will honor you. If you have to keep questioning where you stand with a man, then you already have your answer. A man who is truly invested will give you clarity, not confusion. He will give you stability, not inconsistency. He will make you feel secure, not like you are always trying to earn his love. Because when a man is truly serious about you, you won't have to wonder. You will know. Stop settling for interest when what you deserve is investment. Stop settling for words when what you deserve is action. Stop giving your time, your love, and your energy to a man who is not willing to give you the same in return. The right man will not only be interested, he will be invested. And until you find that, don't settle for anything less. You were never meant to beg for love. You were never meant to sit in a relationship feeling unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. Love is not supposed to feel like a battle for recognition, where you are constantly trying to prove your worth to someone who refuses to see it. If a man truly loves you, if a man truly values you, you will never have to fight for a place in his life. You will never have to convince him to choose you, because when a man is sure about you, he will act like it. Some of you have spent too much time holding on to a love that does not hold on to you. You have given your heart, your energy, your devotion to someone who has only given you pieces in return. And every time you think about walking away, you tell yourself, maybe things will change. Maybe he just needs more time. Maybe if I love him harder, he'll finally see my worth. But the truth is, love does not work like that. You cannot make a man be ready. You cannot force him to love you the way you deserve, and you should not have to. Some of you have mistaken waiting for patience. You think that holding on is a sign of strength, that enduring the silence, the inconsistency, the lack of effort means that you are loyal. But there is a difference between waiting for a man to grow with you and waiting for a man to see you. A man who is truly for you will not have you questioning whether or not he wants to be there. He will not have you sitting in uncertainty, wondering if you matter to him. He will make sure, because he values you enough to remove all doubt. You cannot make a man choose you. You cannot love him into being faithful. You cannot love him into being honest. You cannot love him into being ready. A man will choose you because he wants to, not because you begged, pleaded, or proved yourself worthy enough. And if you have to fight for his love, then you have already lost, because real love does not require convincing. Some of you are in relationships where you are giving everything and receiving nothing. You are showing up time and time again for a man who does not show up for you. You are prioritizing someone who treats you like an option. You are holding on to the idea of love rather than the reality of what is actually in front of you. But love should not leave you feeling empty. It should not leave you feeling like you are constantly trying to measure up as if you have to earn something that should be freely given. Some of you need to stop chasing after potential and start seeing a man for who he truly is. Stop making excuses for his lack of effort. Stop explaining away his absence. Stop telling yourself that his inconsistency is just a phase. The way a man treats you now is the clearest indication of how he will treat you in the future. And if he cannot show up for you consistently today, what makes you think he will suddenly change tomorrow? Some of you have settled for the bare minimum because you are afraid to start over. You are afraid that if you walk away, you might not find anything better. But let me tell you something. Being alone is better than being with someone who makes you feel lonely. Starting over is better than staying in something that is breaking you. And letting go of the wrong one is the only way to make room for the right one. A man who truly loves you will not put himself in a position to lose you. He will not gamble with your heart. He will not take your presence for granted. Because when a man sees your worth, he will do what is necessary to keep you. He will love you with intention. He will love you with clarity. He will love you in a way that leaves no room for doubt. Some of you have been praying for a sign. You have been asking for confirmation, for a reason to hold on just a little longer, but deep down you already know the truth. You already know that you cannot spend the rest of your life chasing after a love that refuses to be caught. You already know that you deserve more than someone who makes you feel like an afterthought. And now it is time to believe it. Choose a man who chooses you, not just when it's convenient, not just when he's lonely, not just when he feels like it. Choose a man who chooses you fully, consistently, and without hesitation. And if he can't, if he won't, then do yourself a favor, walk away. Because the right man will never make you feel like you have to beg for the love that is meant for you.